I had someone who came to me recently saying, hey, I want to update my resume so that it shows off who I am and what I can do when I go into a job interview. He ended up getting a job offer before we even had a more formal talk. But what he really needed was some help moving through a negotiation experience. So let's talk about what that looked like and how he was able to get over $15,000 more than what he expected. Hey there, my name is Jeff Perry, leadership and career development expert and author of The Intentional Engineer and The Intentional Career Guide to Professional Networking. Now, recently I had a perhaps chance encounter, someone who reached out to me and they were thinking they needed some help on the resume, they weren't sure how to move through a career transition they were working on. Ended up, before we even were able to fully connect, he had someone in his network who connected him through to a cool company, and he was in talks about a job offer. That was awesome. But he knew that he needed some help moving through the negotiation process. And there were a few things at play. First of all, there was a relocation. Second of all, he was trying to be more aggressive and get a higher salary than he'd ever done before. And 3 years trying to get timing and get some help moving through that transition, because he was going to have to break a lease and a number of different things. Well, we're able to solve all of that. Number one, they upped his relocation and bonus package by an additional $15,000 to more than cover all the additional costs that he would be incurring that he didn't expect, or that he would have to incur through the transition process. Second, he was going to commute for a little bit before he made the final move so he could get started working earlier, and he negotiated to get them to pay for the hotel during that time that he was commuting. Much longer distance before he was able to officially move, he and his family. And then third, we were able to get him a higher salary, and it was a startup, so an equity package than he'd ever had before. And so all those things set him up for a few things, because the compensation experience is things that are important to multiple facets of life. First of all, we reduced all the anxiety about the short-term costs and the out-of-pocket expenses for the moving experiences that he would have to go through. Second, he saw long-term paths in terms of the base salary and the equity opportunities that were going to be there for him. So even if the equity doesn't turn into something, which is actually very likely that it will with this particular company, then he's got a solid base salary, which is more than he's ever been paid before. And all this was possible because he took a collaborative and inquisitive and also bold approach to his negotiation experience. We talked about the idea, the quote from Wayne Gretzky, one of the best hockey players of all time, is you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So I invited him to take his shot, to try some things. And by doing that more so than he ever would have before, he got some things that he wouldn't have gotten, that he certainly had never gotten before, because he'd never taken that sort of shot. And all it took was a $997 investment in getting some negotiation coaching, and he got a multiple ROI on that experience in the short term and the long term. So that's something you need. This is a new offering for me that I've just opened up in terms of just a focus on negotiation coaching. So if you're moving through that experience, please reach out and let's connect. We'd love to help you form an intentional strategy to negotiate to get more of what you need in your next role to make it the best that it can possibly be. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for you and maybe gave you some ideas on how you can approach a negotiation that you might have in the future. And if that's something that you're facing right now or want to get some help with, please reach out, let's connect. And would love to hear from you, and maybe we can talk about doing some negotiation coaching for you to guarantee some ROI on that experience. And also, please make sure to rate and like and subscribe these videos so you can see more of the content and we can get these out to more people. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you on the next one.